All right. Just started the recording. I was trying to give a quick recap on what we're trying to do, team. So let me start with the beginning. So we're trying to cover a few topics today quickly. One is NotebookLM and how I'm using the RAG model of it into a project work for Foxyiz. And we'll also talk about how we're generating new yPads. These two are more for non-technical users, so there's no code involved in what we're doing. The below two out here, 3 and 4, where we're talking about issues, defects, and enhancing the current framework, that may be a little bit more technical. But NotebookLM, from our source folder, or rather the demo folder, which is a very small short folder containing few documents, I've uploaded, for example, the PDF overview that gives us an outline of the PowerPoint itself, says what this tool does. Then I've given it some video and some documentation relevant to it. And its whole purpose is to try and get relevant answers for us. So based on this upload, I'm starting to ask it a few questions. Discuss what the sources say about folder structure in the large context of Foxyiz. So there are some suggestions that it will give us, like what are Foxyiz core capabilities. We'll try and click on them and see what it does. So that is where your interaction gets more easy, team. It will start to slowly over a period of time understand what way we're going and keep conversations relevant. So let's see, ding, ding, ding. Discuss what the sources say about voice of customer. So when we spoke about voice of customer in this PDF also, so we spoke about different roles and what they're having as issues or what problems we're trying to solve. It is trying to expand on the same and talk more about the same. And I said folder structure. Let's talk about the folder structure. So it took some old documentation and said, you know what, this is how the folder structure is. You can always provide the folder structure that you are wanting. I think it is here, folder structure. Let me see if I'm able to add this as a source. This way, add. It's an image. Doesn't it take an image? No. See, these are the only files that it is supporting, team. PDF, text, Markdown, and then a bunch of other formats. MP3, MP4, MPEG, WAV files, WMA. So audio files, audio recordings also can be sent. I don't see an image. That's fine. It's just a text of how the, screenshot of how the whole folder looks like. So once I've given it the input stream, I'm able to start interacting with it. And I asked it to generate new yPads. And I said, can you, instead of testing it for something else, google.com. So I was happy with its output. Instantly, it could talk about that. Here are two plans. Let's verify the title on the page. Let's search Google. And then it said, to achieve this, here are the steps or actions that I need to perform. Everything is linked to the action type and action name. So that way it's easy for us to call that. And then designs as to what my data is. So I call it designs because it's still a data set, team, or sets of data that we can give. Only one design that we're using, but you can always add more. So when I talk about my data out here and what values, so one thing it did mention was that it does not have the full visibility. So it is not sure if these are the exact XPaths or not. So we will have to cross-check them, verify them, and then maybe debug that. So I asked it to add a few more test plans, and I believe it did. Did I say, like, yeah, I said, like, get top 5 result headings, actually search headings that should have been image search, video search, etc. And please update the CSS with these new plans. So it basically gave me the CSV outputs. I copied it, team. So what I did is, just to keep things smaller and simpler, I created a demo large. In here, all that is changing is my Y folder, where I'm constantly adding more and more scenarios or plans and so on. and my Z result folder, where when we do the execution, it'll start showing us the results. So for example, the most recent Google search, let's see, this is the dashboard, and it said it had two things. One was title verification, it passed, and search test, it closed. So the framework that is already sent to you, team, in the Google Drive, that is exactly the same framework that I'm using. And all I need to do over a period of time is to send you maybe, updated yPads, and that's it. It's because the code, we want to keep the code constant, team. We don't want to keep changing the code very often. Which one did I share? The last modified. These are all older ones. Let's say Foxyiz. Yeah, I think May 25th. This is the one. So let me take this also, copy this link. I'm guessing everyone in the audience right now, you have this link, but I'll also put it there. Okay, so you have that mini version, but here is the new version that I'm doing. So Google Pad. So for example, I just created a folder called Google, and I added these 3 CSVs. Very simple to edit or manage the CSVs, team. So I just want to talk about where the limitations are. Oops, this open CSV that closed. Let me open it again. So back to NotebookLM, and it was nice for it to be able to do a few things. There were a few areas where it was not able to get deeper, team. So it's limited. It has certain limitations on what it could generate. So this is just merged with the old content. I didn't want that. Ting ting ting. A little bit of hallucination and forgetting little information. Now here is where I asked it something interesting, team. I said, generate similar yPAD CSV for weather.com, finding website for a specific zip code, and click info. So weather.com, clickinfo.com, I just gave 2 websites and said, get some plans. So as soon as I say yPAD CSVs, it should understand that I'm trying to create plans, actions, and designs. I don't need to specify it again. That's the smartness of any LLM. Now, if Fox's framework or automation, the documentation is not publicly available, any open LLM won't be able to understand what is happening without it getting relevant context. So this documentation becomes very important, team. And for us, all tests are in CSV format. We're not writing any more code on it. This about core concept in the large context of. Oh, did I ask that? No, I don't think so, but there we go. Anyways, so this is where it started failing a little. I didn't ask all of the questions, but here. When I asked you to do it for those 2 applications, right? There is no yPAD data specifically relevant to included in the provided sources. So it generated for google.com, but now it didn't understand what to do for these sources. So that is where it failed. But what I liked and what we were seeing before I hit the record button was the mind map, team. So with the mind map, you are able to get a very nice holistic view of the entire application or the documents that you've shared. So even if this is for a research project on Fox's test automation, but if you're working on your career and you're applying for a bunch of jobs, you can share the JD, your profile, and it will still try and give you a good mind map. Very useful tool, team, especially where you can see that for Fox's, it could see all of this important stuff that are relevant to it. So there's a core concept, and I can click on it and it'll get me the specific details of what it is. So your support becomes very easy for the end user also, where they know that if I'm a user, then I have no need for an ID or set up just CSV editors, and fstart, just as capability CSV, all CSVs only, and then your HTML dashboards that's coming in. So when I did this execution team on Google, we got some results. Did I show the results to you? No. Yeah, this is one. But this one earlier failed. I was trying to experiment something. Let's open the latest one. So I'll also do a quick execution. So we are in Z folder and not this because I killed one task. Yeah, this is the one we were referring to. Is it opening here? Okay. So we now know that, yeah, it passed one, it failed one, and it could work on that. But I also know that if there is a reason for failure, I should be able to debug more. So while it gives me a screenshot of the application through a dashboard directly, I'm still not able to find out the actual reason. Is it an XPath issue? Is it a pop-up issue? What is the issue? Or the command is incorrect? So that is where I felt we need to do a little bit more debug and issues. So this is where we have to do a little on the code side. We'll come to that. Now, Google.com, so I could take it from Grok and create this, and I'll do an execution soon. Then it couldn't do it or finish it for the other options that I gave. Then I switched back to Grok team. I've been using the same chat for a while. It has a limitation of 25 attachments, and then it starts forgetting things, but those are good enough for me to get going. Because even if I am a developer of Foxyiz, like you see here, you have just 2 or 3 Python codes that you are working on team at any time. So main engine, that's just one code. You don't need too many complicated. Maybe you can add an util to it later, util.py if needed. But otherwise, keeping it simple is easy. So that way, I only need to send 3 or 4 documents. So if Grok is taking up to 25 documents, then it's easy for me to have any time a new conversation. Now, here is what I did with Grok. I asked it the same thing, but look at its output. Is it too large? Did I zoom in? No. Okay, I did. Let me close this, then I can. Oops, don't take me everywhere. Okay. One issue predominantly that exists team is how do I enter comma if there is a comma within the XPath or what I'm sending in the design. So that we'll have to figure out. But here is something I think we did today. So same details, and I just gave sample yPads, same prompt, and it could generate for weather.com separately and Cricinfo separately. I asked, let's merge them into one because I just want to see as a demo how it works, and merge them into, yeah. So it's given me plans, actions, designs. I downloaded them. I created a new folder here in Y. I call them tasks. And I have simple plans, actions, designs for it. I'll use cursor as a quick CSV viewer also. Foxyiz, okay, close by. Yeah, select this folder. And I could easily take the content and do an execution team. All I needed to do was just change my config, couple of things. I'll show you all the changes that I needed. So, I'm sorry, tasks. Give me a second, please. Sorry, since the format is a template is standard, it could generate a few actions for weather, few plans for weather, couple of each for Cricinfo, and then 3 for BBC. And to execute these plans, it has these actions using our xAgents. So it knows what to use. If there's any hallucinations, the easiest thing to provide is escaper.cs, which says exactly as to all the um, actions that we have and what they take as inputs, what they give as output, and simple documentation. That should be easy enough for any LLM to pick it up. And then design, this is where our data is. So everything came in. I've used things as is. The only things that are changed here, team, now if you look at the folder arrangement, my fron.bat is where basically I say I give a config and say where my start is. So foxyiz.exe, if I double click on it or execute it, it'll default take fstart.json. So in fstart.json is where I can say, okay, you know what, I want you to execute this and I want you to also execute Google parallelly. So let's put them both. Let's see what happens. Um, the name is Google, I think. So the naming convention, everything should be very easy, like folder and file management team. That's the way we've designed this whole framework. So if you go back to why, I have Google. In that I have plans, actions, designs. And then I have tasks, I have plans, actions, designs. Then there's yPads underscore Google that basically says where they are, my plans, my input files, because your input.json, fstart.json takes this data. Says my input files are here, and it also says where my Z plans, Z actions are. That's basically as a template. So your basic Z plans, Z actions come as a template along with Z dash template. All these folders only get generated while execution dynamics. So now all I have to do is take my frun.bat and run it on a command line. So I'll clear this. I'm in the same folder. So I can just say frun and it's taking this command to run our executable. So no code anymore. It is just our executable team that we're working on. It should take a few seconds and then start to load up what it wants to do. And there are two actions or two things happening. So I'm expecting it to open Firefox and Chrome because I think one of them is on Firefox. It is performing those actions. It is going in and doing certain things, but I don't think it's done everything. So I still have to debug where the issues are. So it should not be tough for me to send these results to Grok and say, you know what, Grok, this is what I got based on what input. So let's see if it is friendly enough to do that for us now. NotebookLM, I don't know if it's taking HTML, so I've switched back from NotebookLM to here. Now within Grok, first thing I'm going to upload a few files, team. What is relevant? Now we are analyzing what happened, right? Plans, actions, and designs are the ones it gave, but I still want to make sure that it has these because I would have updated. So I think there are tests happening on the background. So I'll let them happen. Do I want to send these or not is a question. Ding, ding, ding. That's fine. Let's send it. Okay, so it knows exactly what I sent as inputs. Now I'll go to my Z folder. And out here, I'm going to take the recent one because this process is still running. And in that, there is a HTML. This has to a large extent some details. But for example, title here, I know that we need to change it. So that's good enough. We know some things we can do, but some things are, what if I have hundreds of tests? What if it needs to understand this better? So what I do is I'll also send this HTML for it to understand. And I'll say, help me debug. So at this rate, as I get into changing my code next time, it knows the structure well and how the reports are coming. And because we want to change the Z template as well. This is not frozen all the time. For example, on the top, instead of test dashboard, if I want to make it Fox's dashboard, will I be able to do it? Ideally, yes. I have not tested it. Let's do it. So I have my HTML base version. So if I open this with even a text editor, notepad for now, or I could have used cursor. Let's do it in cursor. Z dash dot underscore template, and in here I'll do a control F. It says Fox's test dashboard. That's right. Hmm. I'm surprised. Anyway, I was looking at where it is coming from. I'm not sure if it is taking it from here or there's nothing here. It's just a simple template that we're sending in Z plans and Z actions CSV. All right. I thought we can try and edit the HTML template itself. Let's see what Grok came up with. While it's doing that, I want to open up my PyCharm and talk about a few changes that I'm trying to put in team. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to constantly look at, okay, it's generated a few things. Let's debug. Generating new tests, generate understanding and debugging them for me. And maybe probably auto heal and auto run in the future. So based on that, we built a few things. Is PyCharm opening up? Did I say PyCharm? That we can put it into our agent team. For that, that's where the concepts of LangChain be coming in for us, and how we use VectorDB. So this is an interesting concept that I'm working on. If any of you are interested, you could also help me debug this code. But I want you to be first comfortable with using it without the code itself, team. Then we can do the other part. So here's my dev version where I'm not disturbing anything to do with our other content. And here is where I have created new xActions for agent. I'll quickly talk. So, okay, wow, yeah, I'm at the bottom almost. I'm using OpenAI team, and the different ones I'll just show you quickly. So here, AI, we had simple ones where I could send a text prompt or a text prompt and get a response, and this works fine for us. That's available within our AI. The test is running in the background, and it is interfering. That's okay. So if you look at our byplans actions for AI, oh, why am I here? Thought I went to cursor a little faster by just click instead of double clicks. AI plans, text prompt, context prompt, weather, news, cricket. These are the ones, and then designs. This is where you have to give the API endpoint team and an API key. Most most LLM providers are giving you this access to be able to use their LLMs via API. So that's the mode for it. Your action is just simple text prompt, context prompt, one command. And I'm sending API endpoint, the key, and the text prompt. And for X context prompt, API endpoint, key, test case file, and context prompt. So that goes in as inputs. Why was I mentioning this? I'll talk about this code in next sections. So text prompt and context work fine. This was tested. These are the ones that I'm adding. This I'm saying, let's create a pad. For this, I'm using OpenAI team. I've connected to it, and the way the agent, let's look at this pad in cursor. Oh no, this is not that's folder. That's fine. We'll look at it here. Plans, actions, and designs. Where are they? Too many open. Let me close a few. Close tabs to the left. Whoa, I'm closing all tabs. Let me reopen. Sections, plans, actions, designs. So what was I looking at? xActions.py and create pad. So I've already integrated with that OpenAI, but now OpenAI. But this doesn't have to be OpenAI all the time, team. It can be with any other provider as well. There were a few imports that I had to do, and it took a lot of time to import them. These were the databases, ChromaDB vector database, and then LangChain embeddings for OpenAI, prompts, chat models, LLM chain, and conversation buffer memory, so I can keep things in relevance. So these were needed, team. So I had to do a little pip install, a few commands, not too complicated out there. But primarily now I have these outputs. Create a pad. So what I'm saying, here's my create pad must be in format. So whatever I give as a prompt, and then based on the following prompt, generate a new yPAD. Plan, format, and so, actions is so and so, and this. And for this, it should be able to then give me the output, what it created. It will save it somewhere locally and then provide me the output that here is where it is done. For self-heal team, what we're doing is we're executing tests and we're looking at the Z folder and we're trying to improve and say what happened to it. What went right, what went wrong, so you can fix it. Generate Y designs is give me more data. So sometimes if you see, there are certain things common into these codes. So that is where it's either a context or a prompt. That is where I think we should merge these few things, team, and see if we can do text prompt, context prompt, and these ones similar to it. Still a prompt, but chain we need to use LLM chain, prompt underscore template, input underscore variables is prompt, context. Okay. So I had a plan and a few actions, and I did do an execution on this, team. I'll just quickly show you. Any questions? I just thought I'll show you where we are with this. Need to debug and merge. I just want to make sure that my intent is for it to be able to, when I give a prompt saying that, I'm just seeing where this data is going correct or not. What? Why does agent have different plans, actions, designs? That is strange. Hmm. Plans.agents, yeah. What? Then how did I do the execution of these agents earlier today? There's a VectorDB created. Okay. Here you go. Excel field. This is the step that I was doing, and it says it passed though. I don't know why. It says passed, but it failed. Error in Excel field takes one positional argument, but three were given. Login failed due to incorrect locator. So basically we're running a test and then we are saying we want to heal that by sending this input. So Excel field should be take that input. Oh, yeah, it's taking and where is it splitting it into? Here. So it's got inputs, prompt, API key, plan ID, design ID. I don't need plan ID, design ID here. This is the problem with it. Why do I need plan ID, design ID? See? Excel field takes one, but anyway, we're splitting it. Only these two. So let me copy this. Just correct this code quickly. This should be my plan ID. These are the inputs. I'm sending only two inputs, hopefully. This was the right testing. I got confused when I looked at it. No, I don't need to send these two. Yeah, not needed. And even the logic, it tried to write its own logic saying that plan ID and design ID. Oh, it wants plan ID, design ID. Okay, I can get it from here. In run action, there is plan underscore ID, design underscore ID. So for self heal, what I will do is whatever input I'm sending from there, I'll let it go. And here I'm sending plan ID, plan underscore ID, design underscore ID, correct. So that's good. So here, all I have to do is now I got it. So I need that plan design so I know exactly what failed for it. Okay, but where will it look at? Is not equal to 4. This is also incorrect. It's just a comment, so I can just undo this and say this is not equal to 2. So I need 2 inputs for it all the time. If A in, so remember A in is this, okay? And inputs has to be split, so that has to be prompt and API key, then plan ID, design ID. Okay, so this is good. Let's test this and see what is happening. I don't think it is doing a full output team, but the same what we're trying to do, we're trying to create an agent which does it end to end for us. fengine.py. Everything should be fine. Same fstart.json. Let's see. yPads underscore agent.json. That's good. Okay, let's do this execution. So it should be actually executing a test on a browser. I don't know if it's from Chrome or Firefox. And then when it fails to do something, then it'll do the self heal after that. I don't think these are just errors. These are just warnings that came up. But let's see, something happened. Again, there's an issue here. Expected, but it's easier to debug now, team. 3 fields in line 5 sort 10. designs. So something wrong in designs. See if there's additional commas and all, then that'll become a problem too. Line 5, okay. I'm assuming here it's too long content. What is it? Data name type design 1. This is the string. Oh, here. What is this? One second, team. Source demo, username, password, login, get text, error, the next agent self field. So self field, where is this data going? Plan 1. Is plan 1 used anywhere? No, plan 1 is not used anywhere. This is a problematic row because it's got too many commas, team. That's the issue that it was mentioning. I don't think I need it, so I've corrected it. Let's rerun the engine. So at least inputs are fine. It's opened the browser. So that's the first step. Login attempted. All right, team. That's about what I wanted to show. Once I finish this execution, we'll catch up. Today's Thursday. Let's meet up on Monday again, team. This weekend, I didn't set up any trainings, but we can always do depending on how many people are planning to attend. So I'll come back on that. So it is executing self-heal maybe. I think it's almost done with the execution. For me now, all that I want to see is go to my Z folder, look at the latest agent, and let's see this VectorDB also, team. Sometimes this can become very large in size. So you want to keep a good eye on this. So let's open this in Explorer. No, nothing much, 160 kilobytes. And it was updated 527, nothing recent. Where are the vector DBs for this? Maybe it didn't finish its job. Let's see. HTML, put in Chrome. Still a fail. We expected it, but message exceeded your current quota. Please check your plans and billing details. There you go. So at least it is connecting to my OpenAI. And all I need to do is provide it a little bit more quota and it should be able to hopefully execute this. So once I do self-heal, then it should be able to do something more for me after that. I think, or rather, the other extractions that we're talking about, we can experiment on that. Okay, all right, team. Any questions? Anything you wanted to um, share? I really need to jump, but I would love to see the outputs from your side. See how the demo is going. Let me know on that, please. So let me look at one of the questions. So this will generate the results or output based on the CSV files data we give as input, like go into google.com through test steps shown now. That is correct. The execution happens based on the CSV input, and the results come in HTML for us. And AI can help us through and through in this whole journey. Excuse me. So team, test the same. Once I clean up the AI agent, I'll also share that. But I think also the size of it is going to increase, but we'll look at it. Thanks everyone. Talk to you later then. See you weekend for training or next week for the research project. There's no A actions py and agent action py. There's X actions and yeah. Just the same version. There's only X actions.py. I just renamed it. So we have an original and the experimental. But everything will go into X actions.py. So for example, right now our X actions is only capable for web, UI, APIs, math, a few things, those capabilities. Now we are adding AI agentic capabilities also to it. Bye everyone. See you later. Thank you.